Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Atharvanikam and today we are going to talk about a book series. It is famously known as the Shiva trilogy, the author of which is Amish Tripathi. We are today going to talk about the first part or the first book of this trilogy. The name of this first part is Immortals of Meluha. This book was published in February 2010, but it is not read by many people up till now. It can become a very important part in connecting the philosophy of India and mythological facts of India to the coming generation. It is just a 390 pages book which is divided into 26 chapters. The author's writing style is very descriptive and he writes about the characters and the places in great detail, which helps the reader to get engrossed in the book. It is important to mention that the author preserves the pious figure of Shiva as a deity of many people in India. So it is worth the time you give it to read, because a reader must understand that the story is not based on hard facts or history or even any religious text, but rather a story based on mythology. Like some of you have read Percy Jackson, so like that. It is a book that can attract the readers to know more about Indian mythology and dive deep into the historical facts of India. So this story is interesting and is almost all the time giving readers a new viewpoint on the characters and on the places and on the history of India. It is filled with surprises and the book doesn't ever stop surprising you, and it just keeps you attached to it all the time. So now let's move on to part 2, which is characters and the story. So let's start with the main characters in the story. First one, it's Shiva, who is a Tibetan immigrant from the base of Kailash mountain, who is also the chief of the Guna tribe, which also comes with him to Meluha, which is a kingdom based on the idealistic ideas of Lord Ram, who is the previous Vishnu, and his wife Sita. On coming to Meluha, Shiva drinks the Somras, which is known as the drink of the gods, that helps the Meluhans live a longer life. On drinking the Somras, Shiva's throat starts to turn blue, which confirms the facts to the Meluhans that he is the Nilkant, or the one with the blue neck, who is promised to save India, or as written in the book as Bharatvarsh, from evil. Now let's talk about the next important character, who is Sati. So Sati is a Meluhan princess with whom Shiva falls in love at first sight. But he can't marry her, or for even that matter, he can't even touch her, as she is a Vikarma. Vikarma are shown as people who are born with bad in fortune. It is because her first child is stillborn and her husband dies shortly after the child dies. Sati is a very skilled fighter and she is very brave since her childhood. In the due course of the book, Shiva breaks some rules of Meluha. He convinces the people of Meluha that Sati is not bad and he marries her in the due course of the book. She also bears one of his child in this book. Some of the other important characters are the father of Sati, who is Daksha, who is the emperor of Meluha, and he is very appreciative of every effort that Shiva does to save his empire. Another one is Nandi, who is a captain in the Meluhan army and he is a very loyal devotee of Shiva. He stays with him wherever he goes. Third one is Veerbhadra, a captain of Shiva's army and his very close childhood friend. Another one is Brihaspati, a chief Meluhan scientist who becomes a very good friend of Shiva. The next one is Parvateshwar, who is the head of the Meluhan army, who is in charge of the whole army of Meluha, and who is a staunch supporter of the Suryavanshi style of life. What is Suryavanshi style of life? I will tell you later. He gets to know Shiva better and starts deciding that it might be the savior that was promised to Bharatvarsh. He also follows him in war after that and believes that Shiva is the only one who can complete the dream that Lord Ram started. And the last one is Ayurvati, who is the chief of medicine, and she is very intelligent and saves Shiva and Sati and many others from various injuries and diseases that spread through the whole course of the book. Moving forward, let's talk about the story of this book. The story is a conflict of ideologies between the Suryavanshi way of life and the Chandravanshi way of life. The Suryavanshis live in the kingdom of Meluha and the Chandravanshis live in Swadweep. Swadweep means the island of the individual and Meluha means the land of pure life. So, the Suryavanshis are promised a savior who will fight the evil and finish the Chandravanshi way of life and spread the way of life of Lord Ram. The Suryavanshis are staunch believers of the Ram's way of life and follow the three words motto of Satya, Dharma and Man, means truth, religion and honor. And the Chandravanshis are followers of the lunar calendar, which is the exact opposite of the Suryavanshi way of life. And they are traditional and ideological enemies of the Suryavanshi. They believe in Shringar, Saundarya and Swatantrata, which means passion, beauty and freedom. These two ideologies clash with each other in the Indian subcontinent. The story explains how the Suryavanshis and Chandravanshis both try to expand their ideologies in the kingdom of the other, but fail drastically, whereas the coming of Shiva changes everything for the Suryavanshis. For Suryavanshis, the coming of their savior marks the start of the war that they have been waiting for. This is the time when they declare a full out war on the Chandravanshis and they fight. They fight according to Shiva. Shiva leads the troops. On his side, there are very great warriors like Sati and Parvateshwar, and the Chandravanshis looks like they are losing. Shiva changes a lot of things that are bad in the Suryavanshi way of life and tries to solve as many problems as he can in the short time that he is in Meluha. He fights the war for them, but at the end of the book, he realizes that it is not the way of life which is right or wrong. It is the perspective of the person. What happens then? Does the Suryavanshi way of life win? Is Shiva finding the answer for all his questions? To know this, you will have to read the book. The book, as I said, is just 390 pages. So, to get to know all the details, all the characters and all the storylines in this book, please read this book. And that's all I have to say about this book. To rate this book, I would say that it is a 8 out of 10 because of the facts that are in some place a bit wrong. So I will not like to rate it as a 9 or 10, but as a story, it is written with a great care and great detail. So read it like a story, read it like a book. Don't read it because it is related to Hinduism or it is related to the Indian mythology. And it will surely mesmerize you. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share this video. And thank you for all those who have already subscribed, and please share this video to the people you know who like to read books. And goodbye.